November is hard, but are you? I'm sure you're familiar with NNN. It's the month of November, but a challenge or an obligation to not nut, to avoid self-stimulation. A lot of people do it every year. Is it actually worth doing? Yes, of course it is. Science Versus, a popular podcast, made this video on semen retention. I forgot the name of it, but it's something like, is it worth saving your seed? And it's a really interesting, in-depth video on, well, no, not November. So, a lot of people have these false claims, that, you know, it hires your testosterone or gives you, like, supernatural powers, random bullshit like that, right? And it doesn't. But the reason people do NNN is, and always should be, delayed gratification. A lot of people, especially nowadays, have a problem with dopamine addiction. Your body produces dopamine when something good happens or before something good happens, and it makes you look forward to something, to desire something. Every time you scroll on TikTok, Instagram, every time you watch a YouTube video, every time you let one out, you are training yourself to want to do that even more because it's enjoyable. But learning to do things in moderation to the point where you don't have that addiction, where it feels necessary to scroll or to fap, is so important, and a lot of people forget that. Doing NNN won't make you some big, tough man with more testosterone or, well, do all too much, but what it will do for you is teach you to have more control over your life. When you're studying, you can get distracted easily by, your phone, games, friends, and if you take a step back and stop using your device, stop taking a wank, after a bit of time, your body changes what it's used to. Let's say you were used to scrolling for an hour on your phone every day. When you stop that, your default level of enjoyable, addictable content slowly lowers until it reaches that amount, until you're used to not scrolling. And then everything else becomes more fun because your expected amount of entertainment has lowered and you have less expectations. And that can make all things more enjoyable. It will become easier to concentrate. It will become easier to spend time on things that you consider productive. But it also makes the things that you avoided even more fun. And that's a problem because you can just fall back into it. Now, this is pretty much the thing with every addiction, right? The less you use it, the better it feels, which is why a lot of people will chase a high. You try a drug for the first time, it's amazing. Try it for the second time, it's not as great, and so you want to keep doing it and doing more because you're trying to reach that first moment. But you'll never get that ever again. You might get that second moment, the second high, if you take a break for long enough, but you'll never get the most joy. Yeah, the point of this video was I just wanted to talk about this delayed gratification because, it should work out. It should make everything seem more fun, but the problem is that people just relapse all the time. You see videos telling people to think harder, use your willpower and stop doing something forever. But you always come back. And I think there are only some ways to make it harder for you. Some techniques are actually removing that thing from your life. If you destroy your phone and you buy, a dial-up so that you can only call and text people, like, a Nokia, an old phone, a flip phone, and you never ever use your phone again, you never buy a new phone, then you are breaking that addiction for good. But most people think it's not worth it and can't afford to do that. I don't know how you're supposed to approach this. How are you supposed to stop an addiction for good? See, No Nut November works in theory. You take a break for a while, and that's good for your health. And it proves to people with a strong enough willpower that, hey, I can stop when I want, and I'm not addicted. But if you just go back to it as soon as the month's over, then, what's the point? Why not stop forever? Overall, I don't have much advice on the subject. I don't know how to deal with this stuff. But I think distract yourself, find something else to do, and make it as difficult as possible to keep doing the thing you're trying to stop. It's like fighting your future self, putting in these barriers to block scrolling, drug use, fapping from happening in the future. Hiding your phone away, destroying it, that's one example. But also, if you have a serious drug addiction, moving into an area where those drugs aren't as available, that one's a lot harder because drugs are so common, so are phones. Fapping, you can't. It's not like you're gonna chop off your fucking dick. Yeah. Whoever you are. I didn't do a lot of great explaining. But all I'm trying to say is I wish you the best, and I hope that you do have enough willpower to stop doing the things you want to avoid, and your phone or a drug doesn't stop you from doing what you want to do in life. Stop you from living out your dreams and being the person you want to see. Toodles!